If you want to draw anything that looks round, one of the best ways to do that is to add values. So here's just a couple of drawings of some little oranges that I did. And notice you can tell where the light's coming from, right? Where's the brightest part? Kind of have it here, right? That means the light's coming from the upper right. We have this darkest area. This is called a core shadow. The core shadow sort of shows you like the darkest part. Think of like the dark part of the moon. Well, we're gonna have something here on the ground. That's called the cast shadow. It's gonna be when the light hits the object, it's blocking the light, which means we're gonna have a shadow here on the ground. Okay, so the brightest part's the highlight, the darkest part's the core. We have a cast shadow on the ground. There's two more areas that we're going to be looking for in objects. One is the mid-tone, which is sort of the middle medium that sort of helps make the shape of something that's round. The last thing is called the reflected light. What happens is the light's coming down from above, it hits the tabletop, it bounces up, and you're going to see a little bit of reflected light. It's usually right near the core shadow. It's usually right by the surface, whatever it's on. Sometimes there's reflected light between objects, like light might bounce off of this object and onto this one. Didn't happen in this setting. It just depends how the light is, but those are the things you're going to look for. So we're going to jump into drawing a sphere. If you know how to draw a sphere, you'll be able to draw anything that's rounded, whether it's a rounded nose, an object, anything at all, you can apply those tips. So the one thing we're going to start with is we just need to learn how to control the pencils. So we are going to be making a value scale. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw a long rectangle with at least 7 different value scale boxes. And then I want you to pull out your pencils. So I have the 3 pencils. I have my 2H, I have my 3B, and my 6B. And if you guys remember our earlier lesson, this one's the lightest one because it's the H, it's the hard graphite. And then we have the 6B, it is the softest, it's the most bold. All right, so you're gonna probably be using the darkest ones here. That's the dark one, these here, and I'm gonna use my lighter ones here. The other thing you're gonna need this. This is called a tortillon. There's how it's written right there. This is just a piece of paper that's been twirled up. So you don't want to push on it from the tip. It'll just bend the tip. It's just paper. You're going to hold it on its side and you're going to rub. And that's what's going to help you get these nice, smooth, blended areas. Okay, the last thing you're going to definitely want, we want your erasers. Okay, I gave you this eraser. That'll help you clean up the hard edges. This one, it still has plastic on it. Let me take that off. This is called a kneaded eraser. K-N-E-A-D-E-D, kneaded, with the K in front, kind of like a knife, with how you spell it. So it's a kneaded eraser, and that's because you can knead it. Okay, that action where you're pushing and pulling, you're able to manipulate this eraser. What's so cool with it is that if it's something too dark, you can just press and lift up. You can get it really, really sharp and go right along an edge. So this kneaded eraser is very kneaded with an N. So that's what we're gonna start with today. You're gonna leave one white. You're gonna start with your H, and you're just gonna start filling it in using the side of your pencil, and you're going really, really lightly. So let me show you one way I like to get started. Hang on. I lost my spot. Right here. So one way I like to start is I like to do the very, very darkest. I take my 6B and I go right there. And then I take my medium and I try to get a medium gray. And once I get that, it's a lot easier to then get lighter to white and get darker to black. So I'm going to stop you right there. Just a quick reminder, if you needed to remember how pencils work, the H's and the B's, we've talked about that. But hopefully this will be a good reminder for you. Go ahead and get your value scale done and we'll jump into the sphere.